One word changes the entire atmosphere. The accusation cuts deep, branding him without mercy and setting the stage for a confrontation that feels inevitable. Darkness swallows the room. Behind that silent door, secrets wait in the shadows, and the air itself feels heavy with unspoken threats. The dark-haired figure stands tall, extending his reach with cold authority. This is not a rescue, it is a claim, and the smaller figure has nowhere to run. Looking up from the floor, the lighter-haired youth meets the gaze with trembling resolve. The gap between them is not just physical. It is the distance between freedom and captivity. What happens next will decide everything. The dark-haired survivor emerges from shadow, his silhouette cut by an eerie blue glow. Every tense line in his profile warns that something dangerous is awakening inside him. This is not just survival. This is a man pushed to the absolute edge. Without warning, cold steel presses against the back of his head. An unseen enemy closes the distance, turning the moment lethal. The stakes are absolute. One trigger pull, and everything ends before it can begin. He strikes back. The weapon is now in his hand, raised high as crimson splatter stains his dark uniform. A deafening beang shatters the silence. Proof that he refused to become the victim. But the blood on his clothes reveals the brutal cost of this reversal. Beneath him, the fallen attacker reaches out in defeat, chains dragging through the chaos. Red stains spread like a grim signature across the scene. The protagonist stands victorious, yet the chains and blood remind us. Mercy does not exist here, and neither can he afford it. Since suspenseful, two hands reach across a dark divide, one wrapped in shadow, the other in lighter cloth. Between them, a barrier trembles, as if the silence itself is about to shatter. And intense. The dark-haired youth steps forward with an unsettling grin. Glowing blue streaks trace his face like fractures in glass, and a sharp sound tears through the darkness. He is not afraid. He is waiting. Focused, the camera pushes closer. His smile holds steady, eyes burning with that same eerie blue light. There is no doubt left. Only cold purpose and a decision already made. Hargrave from behind. Three figures stand before a blinding doorway. The central youth, flanked by two shadowed companions, faces the unknown light together. Are they stepping into salvation or walking straight into a trap? The glow offers no answers, only what comes next. In the suffocating darkness, a lone figure presses against the wall, hand covering their mouth. Every breath feels like a betrayal, because something is already inside the room with them. The corridor reveals a grim truth. A body lies motionless on the cold floor, crimson pooling beneath them. The silence here is not peaceful. It is the silence of a life violently erased. A face emerges from shadow, eyes wide with a mixture of terror and recognition. This is not just fear of death. It is the crushing weight of knowing who caused it, and that the danger is far from over. As the darkness deepens, the truth becomes unavoidable. The killer is not a stranger in the night, but someone who has been watching all along. And now, there is nowhere left to hide, and suspenseful. The young fighter lies broken on the ground, blood splattered across his face. His eyes are wide with pure terror, realizing the fight is already lost. Hair intense. Emerging from the darkness is a monstrous figure with wild hair and razor-sharp teeth. Its very presence feels like a death sentence. Grim. The creature dominates the frame, its terrifying form leaving no room for hope. The fallen warrior is completely at its mercy. Shocking. Then, the crushing blow lands, not physical, but verbal. One word echoes through the darkness, branding him with absolute shame. The young man snaps awake, eyes wide with pure shock. Sweat traces his face as an invisible weight presses down. Something has violently pulled him from unconsciousness, and the air feels charged with danger. Sitting upright in bed, he reads the impossible messages floating before him. Magic is yours. Live a more comfortable life. They aren't just words. They're a contract written in mystery, offering power at an unknown cost. His gaze drops to a door that shouldn't exist, bearing the inscription Magic Goods. Specialized business. This is no ordinary room. It's a gateway to a hidden world where magic is traded like currency. Then comes the eerie call. Hayoseno! Echoing as the entrance slides open. Whatever waits inside knows his name or his fate. The choice is his: claim the magic, or remain a prisoner of the ordinary. Suspenseful. In a shadow-filled room, a figure remains trapped in sleep as chaos surrounds them. Papers scattered across the floor, furniture displaced. Others caught an eerie red glow piercing the darkness. Then come the unsettling words, a casual greeting, followed by a chilling announcement of a new product. The stark contrast between the mundane message and the desolate setting raises terrifying questions about who is truly delivering this broadcast and what dark purpose this so-called product serves. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a terrifying truth. The sorcerer's power was still active, and it was hunting for a new host. With the threat confirmed, the team knew they had to act fast. The race to stop the sorcerer before it claimed another victim was officially on. A massive structure dominates the frame, its sign looming like a silent verdict. An unseen voice delivers a chillingly formal, "Thanks for your cooperation," only to be met with a sharp dismissal. No. It's only obvious. Haha. The laughter isn't joyful. It's the sound of absolute certainty, signaling that whatever deal was struck, the outcome was never in doubt. The dark-haired observer stands apart, watching the group disappear into the hazy cityscape. His stillness carries weight. He sees the truth behind the polite words. The growing distance between them isn't just space. It's the divide between those who understand the cost of cooperation and those walking blindly toward it. Whatever was agreed upon, the real price has yet to be collected. The blonde investigator freezes, his wide eyes betraying pure shock. Beside him, the dark-haired companion delivers the blow with cold certainty. The security guard was never the culprit. In an instant, the foundation of their theory collapses, leaving only a terrifying void of unknown motives. The logic is ruthless and undeniable. A guilty guard would never need to hack a door lock. That single contradiction exposes the crime's hidden stupidity, proving the real perpetrator is someone who understands the building's weaknesses far too well. The package storage hides in a perfect blind spot, untouched by cameras. This is not luck, it is insider knowledge. The dark-haired investigator realizes the terrifying truth. The culprit might not be an outsider at all, but a resident walking among them every single day. The stairs become a phantom's highway, completely erased from every security feed. Unless the main entrance camera caught a glimpse, the culprit has already vanished into the architecture itself. The hunt just became nearly impossible. The detective, clearly exhausted from a long night of surveillance, struggles to stay awake as he reviews the CCTV footage. His partner reminds him that they must persevere, as the key to solving the case likely lies within the recorded data. Despite his fatigue, The detective remains determined. He knows that the slightest detail in the footage could reveal the truth behind the mysterious incident, pushing him to continue the investigation through the night. As the hours pass, the detective becomes increasingly frustrated. The footage reveals a critical error. The classification of the incident was mistakenly labeled as a suicide, J. Salve, instead of a homicide, T. Salve. This misclassification has likely delayed the investigation and prevented the true perpetrator from being identified. Realizing the gravity of the mistake, the detective springs into action. He immediately corrects the classification and prepares to analyze the evidence, determined to find the real killer and bring justice to the victim. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was clear: the eye-dyeing experiment had failed. The subject was now blind. With the truth revealed, the team rushed to the video analysis room to review the footage. The room was dark and quiet, the perfect environment to analyze the critical data. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a terrifying truth. The sorcerer's curse was real, and it was targeting them. With the threat confirmed, the detectives knew they had to act fast. The race to find the culprit before the curse took effect was on. As they prepared to leave, one detective remained calm, convinced the culprit would leave a trace. The investigation was just beginning. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. That fucking idiot took the package. If he didn't, the investigation would have been in chaos. Did he take it? Because he thought he left his trace there. The package was a make-up dispenser, quite expensive. Han Soo-young's mother ordered it. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The note was addressed to the Sorcerer's Apprentice, a title that should have been forgotten. This wasn't just a prank. It was a direct challenge to the past. The message warned of a demon lurking in the PC room, waiting to be summoned. The apprentice knew this was no joke. The sorcerer's power was real, and so was the danger. With a mix of fear and resolve, the apprentice decided to confront the threat. He would enter the PC room and see what, or who, was waiting for him. The detective's eyes narrowed as she read the letter. The words, "I'm watching you," sent a chill down her spine, confirming her worst fears. The stalker was still out there, and he was getting closer. With a steely resolve, she turned to her partner. "We need to find that make-up dispenser. If the culprit is a man, he won't need it. But if it's a woman or a transvestite, that's our key to identifying them." The thought of a man dressing as a woman to commit these crimes added a new layer of complexity. The detective knew she had to act fast. The stalker was playing a dangerous game, and she was determined to be the one to checkmate him. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden agenda, forcing the protagonist to question the true intentions of the sender. As the implications sank in, a sense of dread washed over them. The game had just become much more dangerous. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a conspiracy, far deeper than anyone expected, sending shockwaves through the room. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, "I'm alive," hit him like a punch to the gut. The man who wrote this was supposed to be dead, with a newfound sense of purpose. He grabbed his jacket and stormed out of the office, ready to confront the truth. As he walked through the empty streets, he couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning of a much larger mystery. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the sorcerer's past, sending shockwaves through the room. With a newfound sense of purpose, the protagonist vowed to uncover the full story behind the sorcerer's legacy. As the letter was put away, the weight of the revelation settled in, marking the beginning of a dangerous quest for truth. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was clear. The sender knew exactly who he was, and they were coming for him. With a fierce resolve, he decided to confront the threat head-on. No more hiding. As he stepped into the dark alley, the air grew heavy with anticipation. The trap was set. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The man's eyes darted across the page, his expression shifting from confusion to alarm. The message was clear. He was being watched. With a fierce resolve, he crumpled the letter and stormed out of the room. He wouldn't let this threat go unanswered. As he walked down the hallway, his mind raced with plans. He was ready to confront whoever was behind this. The letter's contents shocked the recipient, revealing a secret that would change everything. The recipient, visibly confused, struggled to process the implications of the message. A sinister figure, likely the sender, watched with a smirk, knowing the chaos the letter would cause. The recipient, now fully aware of the danger, felt a wave of anxiety wash over them. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the magic shop's inventory, sparking a sense of urgency. With the clock ticking, the protagonist knew they had to act fast to secure the rare artifact before it was lost forever. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a chilling truth. The sender knew exactly where the protagonist was, and they were coming for him. With a fierce resolve, the protagonist vowed to catch this bastard before it was too late. The camera pans to a dark, industrial setting, hinting at the dangerous path the protagonist must now take. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was clear. The sender knew exactly who he was, and they were coming for him. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, "I am the dead sorcerer," sent a chill down his spine. This wasn't just a letter, it was a declaration of war. With a fierce resolve, he crumpled the letter. The dead sorcerer had made a mistake by underestimating him. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The man who had been helping them was actually the mastermind behind the entire plot. The letter's contents were revolting. The writer described the tight clothing and the disgusting nature of the situation in graphic detail. As the reader absorbed the disturbing message, the scene shifted to a subway station. The sign for Dangsan Station glowed ominously, suggesting a location tied to the letter's contents. The camera panned down a long, sterile corridor. The tight clothing mentioned in the letter was now a physical reality, represented by the narrow, confining space. The atmosphere was thick with tension. The final shot focused on the tight clothing itself, hanging in the corridor. The viewer is left wondering what this specific garment represents and how it connects to the overall mystery of the letter. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a shocking truth. The woman he loved was actually a spy sent to kill him. Enraged by the betrayal, he vowed to confront her and uncover the full extent of the plot. With his heart heavy, but his resolve strong, he prepared to face the woman who had deceived him. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret about the sorcerer's past, one that could shake the very foundation of their world. The sorcerer's response was immediate and furious. They couldn't believe someone would dare to expose such a private matter. With a newfound resolve, the sorcerer decided to confront the sender. They would not let this threat go unanswered. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark truth about the city's past, one that the sender was desperate to keep hidden. With the truth in hand, the protagonist knew they had to act. The fate of the city depended on it. Armed with this new knowledge, they set out to confront the forces that had been manipulating the city for years. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, "I am your father," hit him like a punch to the gut. His entire world shifted in an instant. He stared at the letter, trying to process the impossible. His father was dead, wasn't he? This had to be a mistake, but the signature was unmistakable. He had to find out the truth. He had to see this man for himself. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret about the city's past, one that could shake the very foundations of their society. With this new knowledge, the protagonist knew they had to act. The fate of the city rested on their shoulders. As they prepared to confront the truth, the weight of the decision settled in. There was no turning back now. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, "I'm pregnant," hit him like a ton of bricks. His world tilted, and he knew nothing would ever be the same. As he stared at the letter, a million thoughts raced through his mind. Joy, fear, responsibility, all colliding in a single moment. He took a deep breath, folded the letter, and made a decision. He would face this head on, no matter what it took. The man's face contorts with disgust as he reads the letter, his eyes widening in horror at the implications of the message. Enraged, he storms through the subway car, his fists clenched and his expression twisted with fury as he confronts the woman. The confrontation escalates, and the man is left reeling in shock and disbelief at the revelation that has just been forced upon him. Overwhelmed by the betrayal, the man collapses into a seat, his face buried in his hands as he struggles to process the devastating news. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was chilling. You're being watched. Your life is in danger. The recipient's blood ran cold. With a steely resolve, they decided to confront the threat head-on. The game was about to change. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark truth. The world was not what it seemed. A hidden force was manipulating reality itself. With this new knowledge, the protagonist vowed to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. Despite the danger, there was a glimmer of hope. The letter hinted at allies who could help in the fight against the unknown enemy. The model, once a man, now exudes a confidence that borders on cruelty. Her gaze is sharp, her posture defiant, a stark contrast to the vulnerability one might expect. This transformation raises questions about identity and the price of beauty. As the camera pans out, we see the model in a more relaxed state, yet the underlying tension remains. The room is dimly lit, casting shadows that echo the ambiguity of her situation. Is she content with her new form, or is she trapped in a cycle of manipulation? At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything, and this crazy world finally made a star out of a murderer. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The economy collapsed, leaving 1.5 million unemployed. Politicians are corrupt, and healing spells are only for the rich. The world is filled with evil and disrespect. But one man stands against this decay. He is the last of the human, like humans, and he will fight to restore justice. The world is full of idiots. Delinquents smoking in uniform, elites becoming money puppets, brainless people seeking power. It's vulgar, disgusting, and flooded with trash like culture. Is there nobody who woke up? I am the one who woke up. I will change this world. I will be the leader who guides humanity to a better future. My name is Kim Hyun Woo. I am the Sorcerer King, and I will rule this world with wisdom and justice. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret. The sorcerer's daughter was alive and being held captive. With this new information, the sorcerer knew he had to act fast to save her. As he prepared to leave, a sense of urgency washed over him. The clock was ticking. The two men stand side by side, gazing at the sky with a sense of wonder. The taller man, with his sharp features and dark hair, seems to be the one who suggested this moment of reflection. As they look up, the shorter man, dressed in a heavy winter coat, appears to be processing the taller man's words. There's a quiet understanding between them, a shared experience that binds them in this moment. The taller man breaks the silence, his voice filled with conviction. Let's try looking up when walking, he suggests, implying a change in perspective or a new approach to their journey. The shorter man listens intently, ready to follow his lead. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the sorcerer's past, sending shockwaves through the room. As the group processed the revelation, a sense of urgency grew. They knew they had to act fast before the sorcerer's legacy was lost forever. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a horrifying truth. The sorcerer's spirit was still alive, trapped in the city. The team knew they had to act fast. The fate of the city depended on them stopping this ancient evil. As they raced through the streets, the sorcerer's presence grew stronger. The final confrontation was imminent. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a shocking truth about the sender's identity, leaving the recipient stunned and questioning everything. With newfound resolve, the protagonist decided to investigate the sender's claims. setting off on a journey to uncover the truth. The investigation led to an unexpected discovery, a hidden artifact that could prove the sender's story. The stakes just got a lot higher. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret about the tournament's true purpose, leaving the player stunned. With the truth exposed, the player vowed to uncover the conspiracy behind the rigged matches. As the dust settled, the player realized this was just the beginning of a much larger battle for justice. I failed! I failed! Do you know how hard it is to get a job in programming nowadays? That's why I told you! That's why I said I'll major in magic research! No. How long ago do you think that was? Shut up! Shut the hell up! Old farts do not enter! At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a plot to assassinate the king, signed by the very person who had just sent it. With the fate of the kingdom at stake, the protagonist knew they had to act fast. As they raced to warn the king, the weight of the conspiracy settled in. The clock was ticking. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark truth about the world's elite, leaving the reader stunned and questioning everything. As the news article loaded, the gravity of the situation became clear. The world was not what it seemed. With a heavy sigh, the character accepted the harsh reality of the world, knowing there was no turning back. The letter's opening lines were a scathing attack on the recipient's character, dripping with contempt and misogyny. The writer didn't just insult her. He declared a fundamental incompatibility with the entire country she came from. Unfazed by the tirade, the protagonist leaned in, her eyes narrowing as she read the next line. She was determined to get to the bottom of this, regardless of the writer's offensive tone. The letter took a bizarre turn, shifting from personal insults to a nonsensical rant about simple truths and hearts. The protagonist furrowed her brow, trying to make sense of the disjointed argument. As she finished reading, the protagonist sat back, her expression a mix of frustration and curiosity. The letter was clearly written by someone with a deep-seated grudge, but it also hinted at a larger, more complex issue that she needed to investigate. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The door creaked open, revealing a man with a face that looked like it had been carved from stone. His eyes were cold, and his smile was anything but friendly. The man's voice was gruff as he warned his son about smoking, but his eyes betrayed a deeper concern. He knew something was wrong, but he couldn't quite put his finger on it. Despite the tension, there was a glimmer of hope. The son, sitting at his computer, seemed to have found a distraction from his troubles. But the question remained, would he ever find a real job? Or was he destined to live in the shadow of his father's legacy? At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was clear. The sender was worried about his health, specifically his smoking habit. The letter appeared harmless at first, but one sentence instantly changed everything. I am the one who killed your parents. The shock was immediate and overwhelming. The recipient, clearly shaken, struggled to process the accusation. What? Who are you? Why would you do that? The questions poured out, but the letter offered no immediate answers. Despite the initial shock, a sense of determination began to emerge. I need to find out who wrote this. I need to know the truth about my parents' death. The tone shifted from confusion to resolve. The scene ends with the recipient holding the letter, lost in thought. The identity of the sender remains a mystery, but the impact of the message is undeniable. The search for the truth has just begun. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret about the hotel's past, sending chills down his spine. With the truth in hand, he knew he had to act. The fate of the city depended on it. The man's fist connects with a sickening thud, but instead of the expected reaction, the target collapses into a heap of fur. The attacker stands frozen, staring at the fallen creature with a look of pure disbelief. As the dust settles, the attacker kneels down to inspect the fallen figure. The fur is thick and matted, obscuring any features, but the weight and density suggest something far from human. A sense of dread washes over him as he realizes he may have just attacked a wild animal. Suddenly, the animal stirs. With a low, guttural growl, it begins to rise, its massive form looming over the terrified man. The attacker scrambles backward, his eyes wide with horror as he realizes the creature is not dead, and he is now its target. The creature stands fully upright, revealing itself to be a massive, humanoid wolf-like beast. Its eyes glow with a feral intensity as it locks onto the man. The attacker is paralyzed with fear, trapped in a corner with a monster he has just provoked. The beating continued with relentless fury. Each kick was a scream of vengeance for the humiliation suffered earlier that day. The attacker's face twisted with rage as he unleashed a flurry of blows, demanding retribution for the pain he had endured. The victim, now cowering in the corner, looked on in terror as the assault showed no signs of stopping. The violence had reached a breaking point. The boy's face is a mask of terror as he reads the letter, his eyes wide and his expression frozen in shock. The words on the page have clearly revealed something deeply disturbing. Enraged by the contents of the letter, the boy crumples the paper and hurls it to the ground. His fists clench tightly, indicating a strong emotional reaction to the information he has just read. With a newfound sense of purpose, the boy strides confidently towards the door. He is no longer the scared child from the first scene. He has transformed into a determined individual ready to face the consequences of what he has learned. As the boy steps outside, he is greeted by a terrifying sight. A massive, shadowy figure looms over him, its presence casting a dark shadow that engulfs the entire scene. The boy's eyes widen in fear as he realizes the magnitude of the threat he is about to confront. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a plot to assassinate the king, signed by a mysterious Amek. The protagonist knew he had to act fast. With the fate of the kingdom at stake, he set out to find the traitor before it was too late. As he walked away, he vowed to protect the king and uncover the truth behind the letter. The letter appeared harmless at first, but a single line revealed a shocking truth. The message confirmed the worst. The sorcerer was alive and had been manipulating events from the shadows. With the threat confirmed, the hero knew he had to act fast to stop the sorcerer's plans. The USB drive contained the key to the sorcerer's location, but accessing it would be dangerous. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The man's eyes widened in disbelief as he read the words. The message was clear. He was being hunted. With a steely resolve, he pocketed the letter and prepared to face the unknown danger approaching. As he walked away, the weight of the threat settled in. The game had just begun. The letter appeared innocuous at first, but a single line revealed a shocking truth. The message confirmed the worst The USB drive was a trap, and the sender was a dangerous enemy. With the threat identified, the protagonist vowed to destroy the USB and confront the sorcerer. Armed with knowledge, he prepared to face the enemy, determined to prevent the sorcerer's return. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The boy's eyes widened as he read the message. It wasn't just a package. It was a potential threat. With a firm nod, he promised to take care of it. The stakes were higher than he initially thought. As he walked away, a sense of resolve settled in. He was ready to face whatever came next. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a sinister plot, targeting the city's most vulnerable. The stakes were higher than anyone could have imagined. With the threat exposed, the heroes knew they had to act fast. The race to save the city was officially on. As they prepared for the battle ahead, a sense of unease settled in. The enemy was cunning, and the odds were stacked against them. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret. The girl was involved in a scandal with a delinquent. The man's expression shifted from curiosity to disgust as he realized the truth. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, "I'm pregnant," hit him like a ton of bricks. His world tilted, and for a moment, he couldn't breathe. His face contorted with rage. "How could you do this?" he screamed, his voice echoing off the walls. But amidst the chaos, a resolve hardened in his eyes. He would face this, no matter the cost. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was clear: "I am watching you." A chill ran down his spine as he realized he was being hunted. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a secret so dangerous, it could destroy the entire city. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The words "but murder" struck him like a lightning bolt. The simple act of reading had just become a crime. The room was dark, the air thick with tension. A hooded figure sat across from him, eyes glowing with an unholy light. The sorcerer had arrived, and he was not alone. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the sorcerer's past, sending shockwaves through the city. With the truth exposed, the protagonist vowed to uncover the full story, no matter the cost. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a chilling truth. The video was uploaded after the student had already died. This meant the teacher's actions were driven by a false sense of urgency, making the situation even more tragic. The detective now understood the full weight of the deception and the need to find the true culprit behind the video. The detective's words hit like a ton of bricks. The man's face drained of color as he realized the trap had closed. The evidence was stacked against him, and there was no escaping the truth. With a steely resolve, the detective leaned in, his eyes boring into the suspect. "You're not getting away with this. The USB, the ID, the CCTV footage, it all points to you. You're going down." The suspect's hands trembled as he processed the overwhelming evidence. The detective's friends had been working hard, and now the net was closing. The man knew he was in deep trouble. As the interrogation continued, the detective's mind raced. What was in that bag? Why was the suspect so nervous? The pieces were falling into place, but the full picture was still emerging. The package was opened, revealing a chilling message. The man inside the room, his face contorted with fear, denied any involvement in the crime. "It's not me!" he cried, his voice shaking. "I didn't kill her! I didn't want to kill her!" The agents outside the room were furious. "This bastard!" One of them shouted, his finger twitching on the trigger. "Let's just shoot him." But a senior officer intervened, ordering them to drop their weapons. "Park Chage," he said sternly, "this is official work. I know you hate magic, but you must follow protocol." The tension eased slightly as the agents complied. The man inside the room, still visibly shaken, nodded in understanding. "I know," he said. "So just stay put." The senior officer sighed, Chet. The situation was far from over. The agents knew that the man inside was likely the key to solving the murder. But they also knew that the magic involved was dangerous. The room fell into a tense silence, the weight of the investigation hanging heavy in the air. With the immediate threat of violence averted, the agents prepared to question the suspect. They needed to find out what happened to the woman and why this package was sent to them. The clock was ticking, and the truth was waiting to be uncovered. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. "Hey, like that guerrilla detective said, we can take care of this real easy. The bullet loaded in that gun is a magic bullet called DK, created by the magic department." At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The bullet used in the assassination was a high magic class DK, capable of cursing its victim. This discovery confirmed the killer's identity. The curse would change the skin color of anyone who had committed murder within the past year. With the evidence in hand, the detective knew exactly who to look for. The killer's fate was now sealed. The case was solved. The murderer would soon be brought to justice, thanks to the power of the DK bullet. The detective sighed, knowing that while the killer was caught, the pain of the victim's loss would never fully heal. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The sorcerer's eyes narrowed as he read the chilling words. "Mana can even detect the scent of death." The implications were terrifying. The young man's face paled. He knew the sorcerer was right. There was no hiding the truth from him. The sorcerer leaned in, his voice low and steady. "Don't worry," he said. "I'll protect you." At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, "I can't let you go," sent a chill down his spine. This wasn't just a threat. It was a promise. With a steely resolve, he vowed never to use that bullet. But deep down, he knew the danger was far from over. As he stared at the bullet, he realized the true cost of his decision. The fate of the city now rested on his shoulders. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The prosecutor's smile was chilling. He wasn't just releasing the suspect. He was setting a trap. The detective's eyes blazed with fury. He knew the prosecutor was playing a dangerous game, and he wasn't about to let him win. The prosecutor leaned back, smug. He thought he had outsmarted everyone. But the detective was just getting started. The masked man's rage boiled over as he confronted the woman, his voice dripping with contempt. "You dirty bitch that makes porn videos!" He spat, the weight of his accusation hanging heavy in the air. The woman's eyes widened in terror as the masked figure advanced, his gun drawn. The threat was immediate and undeniable. "Stop resisting!" he commanded, his tone leaving no room for negotiation. Despite the overwhelming danger, the woman refused to back down. With a steely resolve, she stood her ground, ready to face the consequences of her actions. The stage was set for a final, high-stakes confrontation. In a moment of unexpected bravery, the woman seized the initiative. She lunged forward, disarming the masked man and turning the tables. The sound of the gun hitting the floor echoed through the room, signaling a shift in the balance of power. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was clear. The sender knew exactly what happened, and they were willing to prove it. With the truth now in his hands, the detective had no choice but to act. The game was on. The prisoner's face contorts in terror as he reads the letter, realizing the dire consequences of his actions. The warden, with a sinister smile, reveals the brutal fate awaiting the prisoner if he fails to comply. The prisoner is left in a state of despair, knowing that his life is now in the hands of his captors. Han-Soo, young and Crimson Robe, once shared a friendly bond, but that changed when Crimson Robe brutally attacked Yoon Sung-ho. Now, Han-Soo, young, plans to use the press conference to expose Crimson Robe's true nature. Crimson Robe is furious, seeing this as a perfect opportunity to eliminate both Han-Soo, young, and the threat she poses. He vows to crush her before she can reveal his secrets. The reporter is thrilled at the prospect of a showdown between Han-Soo, young, and the untouchable Crimson Robe. He believes this confrontation could lead to a major breakthrough in the case. Despite the danger, Han-Soo, young, remains resolute. She is willing to risk everything to bring Crimson Robe to justice, even if it means facing him head-on. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The words on the page were a direct threat to his life. The sender knew exactly who he was and what he had done. The message was clear: he was being hunted. The only safe place for him now was behind bars. With no other options, he made a desperate decision. He turned himself in to the police, hoping the prison walls would protect him from the danger outside. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The detective's assistant, clearly shaken, admits his fear of the man he works with. This isn't just a job for him. It's a constant source of anxiety. As the detective reads the letter, he's visibly shaken. The message has struck a nerve, revealing a vulnerability he rarely shows. The assistant, meanwhile, looks on with a mix of concern and curiosity, wondering what could have caused such a reaction. The prisoner sits in his cell, sobbing uncontrollably. The guard looks on with a mix of pity and frustration, muttering that the magic bullet was a waste of money for such a weakling. The guard is approached by a colleague who reminds him of a critical detail. The prisoner's confession was coerced. The guard's expression shifts from annoyance to realization, understanding the gravity of the situation. The guard reads the letter, his eyes widening in horror. The message reveals that the prisoner was forced to confess under duress, meaning the execution was based on a false admission. The guard is now faced with the consequences of his actions. With a newfound sense of urgency, the guard sets out to correct the injustice. He must find a way to stop the execution and clear the prisoner's name, even if it means going against the system he serves. The letter looked harmless at first, but one sentence instantly changed everything. "I'm the one who killed your father." The shock was immediate and overwhelming. The man's face twisted with rage. He couldn't believe what he was reading. The killer was taunting him, claiming to be the one who took his father's life. Despite the anger, he knew he had to stay calm. He needed to figure out who sent this and why. This was a trap, but he was determined to find the truth. As he left the room, the mystery deepened. Who was this person? Why did they choose to reveal themselves now? The hunt for the truth had just begun. The prisoner's rage boils over as he realizes the letter is a trap. He vows to hunt down the sender, Crimson, and make him pay for his deception. With a fierce determination, the prisoner breaks free from his cell, ready to confront Crimson and reclaim his honor. As he navigates the prison corridors, the prisoner remains vigilant, knowing that Crimson's influence could be lurking around every corner. The moment of truth arrives as the prisoner comes face to face with Crimson. The air crackles with tension as they prepare to settle their score once and for all. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The detective's laughter echoed through the room, but it wasn't a joke. It was a reaction to something truly unexpected. The partner's face showed disbelief. Human teleportation? That's impossible. Or is it? At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The man's face twisted with rage as he read the words, "Just to piss him off." The message was clear. This was a personal attack, not just a legal proceeding. Other final blow came with the realization of his fate. Now he won't be free even in the prison. He'll live in fear, not knowing when Crimson Robe will barge in. The threat of the Crimson Robe loomed over him, turning his prison sentence into a living nightmare. The commander stands tall, his expression a mix of determination and authority. He's not just a leader, he's the embodiment of the kingdom's defense, ready to face whatever comes next. As he reads the letter, a single line captures his attention. It's a reminder of the limits of his power and the weight of his responsibility. In that moment, the fate of the kingdom rests on his shoulders. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The murderer who killed Han Su, Young, was sentenced to 17 years. But the most shocking part, the victim's name was deliberately hidden from readers with the same name. The Han Su, Young murder case concluded with Kim Hyunuk officially announcing the truth to the mass media. The killer's identity was finally revealed. As the dust settled, one question remained. Why was the victim's name censored? The answer lies in the complex web of identity and privacy in the digital age. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The detective's performance was flawless. But his true intentions remained hidden. Only a select few knew the real story. The case revealed a critical error by Crimson Robe. The victim did not commit suicide, and the public opinion shifted immediately. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The victim was not a random criminal, but a former friend of the sender. This personal connection added a layer of betrayal and urgency to the investigation. The sender, clearly enraged, accused the police of incompetence for failing to identify the victim. The message implied that the criminal justice system was broken, allowing dangerous individuals to slip through the cracks. With the identity of the victim confirmed, the sender vowed to take matters into their own hands. They declared that they would hunt down the murderer, regardless of the consequences, to avenge their fallen friend. The letter concluded with a chilling warning: the sender would not stop until justice was served. The tone suggested that the pursuit of the murderer would be relentless, leaving the audience to wonder what extreme measures might be taken. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The man who had been helping them was actually the mastermind behind the entire plot. Furious at the betrayal, the protagonist confronted the traitor, demanding to know why he had been lied to. Despite the betrayal, the protagonist vowed to continue fighting for justice, determined to stop the traitor's plans. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The sorcerer's words were a direct attack on the hero's integrity. He accused them of being fools who didn't understand the true nature of the world. The letter listed several reasons for the lack of response, but none of them felt like the true answer. The real reason remained unspoken, hidden beneath the surface of the text. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The government's existence is to protect us from the weakness of individual judgment. But what if the government itself is the source of that weakness? At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a horrifying truth. The city was under attack by a powerful sorcerer, with the fate of the city at stake. The protagonist knew he had to act fast. As he raced through the streets, he could feel the sorcerer's dark presence looming over the city. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth. The sorcerer's power was not what it seemed. This discovery would shake the very foundation of their world. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. Actually, is because nobody wants a hero. Ominous. This confrontation reaches its sudden end. Yet the weight of what was revealed lingers like a curse. The shadows have only begun to move, and anyone who thinks the danger has passed is already walking into a trap. The real nightmare hasn't started yet. This page contains a legal notice from the Korean Broadcasting Commission, stating that the content is not subject to censorship or cutting. It is not part of the story's narrative. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, "I am the one who killed your father," echoed in his mind, shattering any illusion of safety. The letter's contents were a brutal rejection. The sender accused him of being a violent delinquent who smelled of cigars, declaring the relationship over. But the final line revealed a chilling truth. The sender was actually the victim of his abuse, and they were now plotting to kill him. Realizing the danger, he vowed to find the sender before they could carry out their threat. The hunt for his would-be assassin began. As he tracked down the sender, he discovered a sinister plot involving a powerful sorcerer. The stakes were higher than he ever imagined. The letter appeared harmless at first, but one line revealed a chilling truth. The sender knew exactly what had happened to the missing girl. Enraged by the insult to his intelligence, the detective vowed to track down the blackmailer and bring them to justice. With a renewed sense of purpose, the detective set out to find the source of the letter, determined to solve the case. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, "I'm alive," hit him like a ton of bricks. His dead wife was alive. This couldn't be real, but the letter was signed by someone else entirely. Who was this person? And why were they claiming to be his wife? He had to find out the truth. He grabbed his coat and rushed out the door, leaving the mystery behind him. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a secret so dangerous, it could destroy the entire city. With time running out, the hero knew they had to act fast to prevent the catastrophe. As the final seconds ticked away, the fate of the city hung in the balance. "Hey, killed readers!" "It's me, Kim Carnby. You know me, right? Never mind if you don't. I'm the guy behind the scenes, making sure this story gets to you. This time, I'm flying solo without Aru. It's a bit tougher than I expected, but I'm getting it done." Looking at the list of episodes, I can see the hard work paying off. But it's also a reminder of how much effort goes into each one. That's why I'm taking a short break after this to recharge and plan the next chapter. I want to make sure the story keeps getting better. I'm not just resting because I'm tired. I'm doing it to organize the next episode's story properly. I want to give you guys the best possible experience. So, stay tuned. The next chapter is going to be worth the wait. The protagonist sits at his desk, reading a letter that accuses him of being lazy. He laughs heartily, finding the accusation amusing rather than offensive. With a determined look, the protagonist grabs a ball and throws it with precision, hitting a target. This demonstrates his skill and refutes the claim of laziness. The protagonist repeats the throw, hitting the target again. He gives a thumbs up, satisfied with his performance and the message it sends to his critics. The protagonist sits at his desk, reading a letter that appears to be an invitation. As he scans the text, his expression shifts from casual to one of intense focus and concern. A specific line in the letter captures his attention, causing him to gasp audibly. The content of this line is clearly alarming, suggesting a threat or a significant revelation that changes the context of the invitation. Despite the shock, the protagonist remains seated and continues to read the letter. His demeanor becomes more resolute, indicating that he intends to confront the situation described in the correspondence. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, "I am the city of dead sorcerer," sent a chill down his spine. This wasn't just a letter. It was a declaration of war. The sorcerer's eyes narrowed. He knew he had to act fast. The city was in danger, and he was its only hope. As he read the final line, a dark presence loomed over him. The battle for the city had begun. "Yun, hoes ask me anything," Session kicks off with a bang, or rather, a groan. The first question hits him like a ton of bricks, and his response, pure gold. Next up, a question about Kim Carnby's lack of honorifics. Yoon. Ho's answer is a masterclass in dodging the issue while keeping the mood light. I'll apologize in his stead is the perfect diplomatic cop. Out. As the session wraps up, Yoon, Ho is left pondering the deeper meaning of it all. Why did he have to do this? What's the point of these special episodes? The answer, my friends, is that they're here to entertain. And boy, do they succeed. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was clear: the sorcerer had found them. And he was coming. The group knew they couldn't wait. They had to act fast before the sorcerer arrived. The author admits that the original setting used a portable data storage device called Cube instead of USBs, but it was too difficult to explain naturally. So they decided to use USBs, which turned out awkward. In response to a question about the man with the blue tattoo killing Han Soo, Young, the author clarifies that the young girl shot in the flashback scene was actually Crimson Robe's little sister, not Han Soo. Young. The author explains that Kim Yoonok's specialty is using outdated jokes that no one understands, like ko, do, sim. This slang was popular when the author was a kid, and even now, it's hard for readers to grasp. The author reflects on the difficulty of working alone after being in a team, noting that there isn't enough time to think about the scenario, which must come out quickly to avoid dropping page counts. This is a scenario that demands speed. Teacher Yoon. Ho, a language arts teacher, finds himself in a peculiar situation. He's been summoned to a meeting, but he suspects it's not just about education. He wonders if this is a plot to advertise Miloholic or to block Star Point terrorism using an innocent character. Yoon. Ho contemplates the future of the series. He hopes that special episodes will be included between regular ones, providing backstage stories and enriching the narrative. He acknowledges that the author's physique is horrible, but remains optimistic about the content. The conversation takes a critical turn. Yoon. Ho points out that there is too much copy-paste going on in the production. He complains that his face is getting rigid from the lack of variation, and criticizes the author for changing font sizes instead of bubble sizes, calling the situation crazy. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the sorcerer's past, sending shockwaves through the room. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a terrifying truth. The teleportation experiment had failed, leaving the subject's body broken, and their soul trapped in a different dimension. This disaster marked the end of the Tempera Company, and a dark chapter in the history of magic, serving as a warning about the limits of human control over the supernatural. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the city's past, one that could shake the very foundations of their world. With this new knowledge, the protagonist vowed to uncover the secrets of the dead sorcerer, no matter the cost. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a chilling truth. The sorcerer's power was not just a legend, but a very real, imminent threat. The letter appeared harmless at first, but one sentence revealed a shocking truth that would change everything. The revelation hit like a ton of bricks. The man's world was turned upside down in an instant. With a newfound purpose, he set out to confront the truth, armed with only his wits and a single letter. The journey was fraught with danger, but he pressed on, determined to uncover the secrets hidden within the letter. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a terrifying truth. The sorcerer's power was not just dormant, it was actively corrupting the land. With the stakes now clear, the hero knew he had to act fast. The fate of the kingdom depended on stopping the sorcerer before it was too late. After a long day of preparation, the hero finally finished setting up camp. He could rest for now, but the real battle was just beginning. The young warrior stands resolute, his gaze piercing through the darkness. The weight of the world rests on his shoulders, but he is not alone. A mysterious figure, cloaked in shadow, looms behind him, wielding a massive staff. Together, they face the unknown, their fates intertwined. As the warrior wipes the sweat from his brow, the tension in the air is palpable. The silhouette of the sorcerer grows more distinct, revealing a face etched with wisdom and power. The warrior knows that this is the moment of truth, the point where destiny is decided. The final panel reveals the full extent of the sorcerer's presence. His staff, a conduit for immense power, casts a long shadow over the warrior. The question remains, is this figure an ally, a mentor, or a harbinger of doom? The future is uncertain, but one thing is clear. The journey has only just begun. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The man who had been training him was actually his father, the legendary sorcerer who had disappeared years ago. The training session takes an unexpected turn as the student attempts a risky maneuver, leaving the master both surprised and amused. With a fierce determination, the student explains the purpose of the training: to master the art of reading and countering enemy movements in any situation. The master, now understanding the student's intent, acknowledges the success of the training with a satisfied expression. The father, clearly struggling with his own emotions, attempts to praise his son. But the boy, now a young man, is too traumatized to accept it. He sees the axe behind his father and reacts with fear and anger, shouting for him to go away. The son's reaction is visceral. He points at the axe, his voice trembling with rage and terror. The father, confused, asks what kind of parent would swing an axe at their child. But the damage is done. The son is convinced his father is a threat. The son's fear turns to fury. He screams at his father to leave, his eyes blazing with hatred. The father, looking defeated and heartbroken, realizes the rift between them is too wide to bridge in this moment. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a horrifying truth. The sorcerer had been dead for years. Yet, he was still controlling the city. Carnby knew he had to act fast. The fate of the city depended on stopping this undead tyrant. With a plan forming in his mind, Carnby prepared to confront the dead sorcerer head on. The boy's expression shifted from curiosity to confusion as he read the letter. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. One sentence in the letter changed everything. It revealed a secret that would shake the very foundation of their relationship. The girl stood firm, her eyes blazing with determination. She was ready to fight for what she believed in, even if it meant breaking hearts. As the boy walked away, he couldn't help but think about the girl's words. Was she right? Could he accept this new reality? At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a shocking truth. The person he trusted most was actually his enemy. Enraged, he stormed out of the room, determined to confront the traitor. With a newfound resolve, he vowed to uncover the full extent of the conspiracy and protect his kingdom. The letter appeared innocuous at first, but one sentence revealed a shocking truth that changed everything. The man's reaction was priceless. He laughed out loud, finding the situation both absurd and hilarious. Suddenly, the floor beneath him gave way, and he slid down a hidden chute into an unknown chamber. Disoriented and alone in the dark room, he struggled to understand what had just happened and where he was. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret. The sender claimed to be a sorcerer who had been watching him for years. With a fierce resolve, he decided to confront the sorcerer, determined to uncover the truth behind this chilling revelation. Growing up, I followed my dad everywhere in the mountains. It wasn't a normal social life, but it was ours. The mountains of Korea used to be lush and green, but now they're mostly barren. Magic could have saved the environment, but land development took priority instead. Despite the changes, I'm determined to stay true to my roots. I'll continue living in the mountains, even without a proper address, and endure my dad's relentless martial arts training. I've always wondered why my dad chose to isolate himself from the cities. It's a mystery I haven't solved yet, but I don't have to follow in his footsteps. I can forge my own path, balancing tradition with the modern world. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the city's past, a truth that could shake the very foundations of their society. With this new knowledge, the protagonists knew they had to act. The fate of the city might depend on their next move. As they left the room, they couldn't help but wonder who sent this letter and what other secrets lie buried in the city's history. The martial arts master, confident in his abilities, attempts a powerful strike. But instead of breaking the wood, he shatters his own hand, revealing a critical weakness in his technique. Furious at his failure and the mocking gaze of his opponent, the master lashes out, demanding bandages and cursing his own frailty. The battle for dominance has only just begun. A reporter from KBC approaches a man in a green scarf, asking about his training. The man responds with a sharp "fuck off," clearly irritated by the intrusion. The man continues to berate the reporter, calling them dirty wastes of the world. He expresses his disdain for the outside world and refuses to engage with it, despite the reporter's attempts to understand his pride. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. I really hate my dad. He's the reason I'm stuck here, training like a slave. I'll never forgive him for what he did to me. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret about the sorcerer's past, one that could destroy the entire city. With the truth in hand, the protagonist knew they had to act fast. The fate of the city depended on it. As the sun set, the protagonist stood ready, prepared to confront the sorcerer and save the city from destruction. The sorcerer's eyes widened in terror as he read the final line of the letter. "I'm coming for you," it said, and he knew the sender was no ordinary threat. The detective reads a letter from his father, which mentions the magic serial killer, Crimson Robe, and the emerging theories about the case. He looks at the TV, where a news report is playing. The reporter discusses the rumors of Min's, H's murder case criminal, being killed in jail, and the citizens demanding the truth from the police. The detective stands up, clearly disturbed by the information. He decides to investigate the case further, driven by the need to find the truth. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The sorcerer had been alive all along, hiding in plain sight. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. Really? Is he even thinking? The message seemed to contradict everything he knew about his father. With a deep breath, he decided to follow the instructions. He had to know what was inside that bag. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. As the protagonist steps into the city, he can't help but reflect on the passage of time. It's been 2 months since he last visited, and the urban landscape has likely changed in ways he hasn't yet noticed. A sign catches his eye, advertising a key to life and fortune charm for 20,001. The total of 20 years listed on the sign suggests a long-term investment. But what exactly does this charm promise? And is it worth the cost? The boy's curiosity is piqued as he spots a peculiar figure in the alley. "Dad? What's that?" he asks, pointing at the man sitting cross-legged with a sign that reads Guru! Ham the Great, 100% accurate! The man scans the letter, his expression shifting from casual to intense. One specific line catches his eye, freezing him in place. His eyes widen in disbelief as he reads the message. The implications are massive. This isn't just a random note. It's a direct threat to his family. With a fierce resolve, he crumples the letter and storms out of the room. He knows he must act immediately to protect his loved ones from this looming danger. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the city's past, one that could shake the very foundations of their society. With the truth now exposed, the protagonist knew they had to act. The fate of the city rested on their shoulders. The guard's face contorted with terror as he read the letter. The message was clear: the sorcerer had returned, and he was not alone. With a thunderous roar, the sorcerer's foot crashed down, crushing the guard and the letter beneath it. The era of the dead sorcerer had begun. The confrontation escalates as the young man, clearly agitated, attempts to physically restrain the elderly beggar. The beggar, however, is not backing down, shouting about the lack of respect for his age and the poor state of the local development. In a fit of rage, the young man grabs a wooden board and smashes it against the ground, revealing a hidden compartment. This is the business's base, and the beggar's presence here is clearly an intrusion that has pushed the young man to his breaking point. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The man's face twisted with rage as he read the words. "You're a fraud!" he shouted, crumpling the letter in his fist. The old fortune teller looked up, his expression shifting from surprise to a deep, contemplative sadness. He knew this was the beginning of a dangerous misunderstanding. With a steely resolve, the fortune teller stood his ground. "I will prove my worth," he vowed silently, preparing to face the wrath of the angry man. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. With a fierce resolve, he crushed the letter in his hand, ready to face the unknown. The letter's contents were devastating. It revealed that the sorcerer's curse was far more powerful and widespread than anyone had imagined, threatening to destroy the entire city. The men were left in a state of disbelief and fear, realizing the gravity of the situation they were facing. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a plot to assassinate the king, signed by a mysterious AX. With the fate of the kingdom at stake, the hero knew he had to act fast. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the sorcerer's past, shaking the very foundation of the investigation. With this new knowledge, the protagonist vowed to uncover the full story, no matter the cost. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret about the city's past, one that could shake the very foundations of their world. With the truth in hand, the protagonist knew they had to act. The fate of the city rested on their shoulders. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The sorcerer's daughter was alive. This single sentence shattered the illusion of a clean kill and set the stage for a dangerous reunion. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a plot to assassinate the king, signed by a mysterious figure known only as the Shadow. The sign stood alone against the pale sky, marking a stop where no one waited. Fallen leaves drifted past like forgotten memories, signaling that this place had been abandoned long before anyone arrived. The shelter stretched empty beneath distant mountains, its glass untouched and its bench cold. A low, distant rumble echoed through the silence. Something was approaching this forgotten edge of the world. Without warning, metal screamed against asphalt as the vehicle lurched to a halt. The sudden arrival shattered the stillness, leaving only one question hanging in the air. Who or what had finally come to this dead stop? The bus screeches to a halt at the isolated stop. Then just as quickly, it tears away. The roar of the engine drowns out everything, leaving the shelter behind in a cloud of dust and abandonment. With the vehicle gone, the young traveler remains. She stands beneath the empty shelter, surrounded by nothing but rolling hills and an unsettling quiet. The journey has delivered her to the edge of nowhere, and she is completely alone. Her hand tightens on the strap of her bag. No words come. Only a heavy, breathless pause. The exhaustion in her eyes hints at a purpose far darker than a simple trip. And in this desolate place, every second of silence feels like a warning. The title strikes like a blade. The crimson robe, synonymous with death and dark power, hides an unexpected pastime. But this is no casual hobby. It is a crack in the armor of a killer who refuses to be predictable. Then the frame reveals him. Dark hair framing a sharp, calculating gaze. The crimson cloak drapes over his shoulders like a warning. He looks every bit the deadly sorcerer. Cold, composed, and utterly unreadable. Yet that single word from the title lingers, twisting everything we thought we knew. Fishing. That is the hobby. For a figure wrapped in crimson and shadow. Sitting by still waters with a rod feels impossible. Yet that contradiction is exactly what makes him terrifying. What does a killer like him catch when the world is not watching? And is the bait meant for fish, or for prey far more dangerous? The massive characters loom like a curse carved in stone. This is not a welcome. It is a warning that death and sorcery rule every shadow here. Each stroke of the title deepens the dread. The city breathes with forgotten magic, and the dead do not stay silent for long. Beneath the shattered skyline, the truth is undeniable. This realm was built by fallen power, and every survivor must pay the price of entering it. The creator's mark signals another descent. The sealed chamber opens once more, and with it, the dead sorcerer's next revelation waits in silence. Under an open sky, the lone wanderer in red moves with purpose. Yet his heavy pack and the towering pylons around him suggest a journey born of necessity, not choice. Every step takes him further from whatever he left behind. Suddenly, the silence fractures. A single word repeats in the air, shine, shine, not as sound, but as memory. It is the kind of echo that only the broken carry. He pauses by the water, pulling out a notebook. With tired hands, he writes. Perhaps a record, perhaps a confession. The bucket and shovel beside him reveal a life stripped to labor and solitude. But when the view closes in, the mask slips. His hand trembles near his lips, his eyes hollow with unspoken grief. The empty speech bubble and that haunting word, shine, reveal a loss so deep it has become part of him. What happened to the light he once knew? The young man pauses, his gaze locking onto the solitary tree ahead. A faint, unsettling sound breaks the silence. Something unnatural lingers near its roots. He extends his finger, tracking an invisible disturbance that others would miss. Without hesitation, he draws out a crimson, bound object and spins it with practiced precision. The motion is deliberate. This is not idle play, but a calculated trigger, setting the next move into motion. Crouching low, he traces a hairline fracture running across the stone surface. The ground feels hollow, almost waiting. His fingers hover over the split, confirming what his instincts already suspected. This path was never meant to stay sealed. With sudden force, he strikes the weak point. The surface shatters instantly, revealing a hidden opening beneath. Whatever was buried here was never meant to stay hidden forever. And now the truth is exposed. Can intense. A violent burst of dark energy erupts, without warning, forcing the lone figure to brace against the shockwave as the air itself tears apart. Then, silence. The chaos vanishes into an empty, pale void, leaving only the haunting question of what just struck. Elsewhere, the young survivor sits alone beneath a bare tree, pen moving across paper, while a discarded blade rests nearby, recording truths that could change everything. The crimson-clad survivor stands frozen, snow clinging to his collar as his sharp gaze locks onto something unseen. In this dead city, silence is never safe. It is a warning. From the darkness, a uniformed youth appears. Calm, almost smiling, an emblem on his coat marking hidden authority. Their eyes meet without words, but the tension screams of a shared past neither dares to speak aloud. Beneath the surface, ripples explode into motion, creatures swimming with intent. A cold drop traces his jaw as he stares into the depths. Knowing what breaks the water next will decide his fate. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the city's past, sparking a chain of events that would shake the foundation of their world. With the truth in hand, the protagonist vowed to uncover the secrets of the dead sorcerer, no matter the cost. As the sun set on the horizon, a new chapter began. The journey to unravel the mystery of the city of dead sorcerers had just begun. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a secret so dangerous, it could destroy the entire city. With the truth in hand, the hero knew he had to act fast. The fate of the city was now in his hands. As he walked toward the city gates, the weight of the decision settled in. There was no turning back now. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The police chief's face hardened. He would not let this mistake go unpunished. The man had come to this town to escape his demons, but fate had other plans. As he stepped out of the car, a chilling realization washed over him. He was not alone. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the sorcerer's past, sending shockwaves through the room. With newfound resolve, the protagonist vowed to uncover the full story, no matter the cost. Armed with this knowledge, they stepped forward, ready to face the challenges ahead. The boy in strange clothing is preparing to attack, aiming for the back of his opponent's head. The tension is palpable as the dark-haired figure with glowing red eyes stares back, ready for the confrontation. With a fierce roar, the boy launches his attack, swinging his weapon with all his might. The dark-haired figure reacts instantly, blocking the blow and counter, attacking with a powerful strike that sends the boy flying. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The man who saved him was not a hero, but a member of the very organization he was fighting against. Enraged by the betrayal, the protagonist confronts the man, demanding to know why he was saved. The man's response is cryptic, suggesting that the protagonist is not who he thinks he is and that he is being used. Despite the confusion, the protagonist vows to continue fighting, determined to uncover the truth and stop the organization. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The sorcerer had been secretly communicating with the enemy, betraying his own people. Furious at the betrayal, the warrior confronted the sorcerer, demanding an explanation for his treachery. The sorcerer, cornered, attempted to justify his actions, claiming he was merely trying to protect the village from a greater threat. Unconvinced by the excuses, the warrior resolved to take matters into his own hands, vowing to stop the sorcerer before he could cause any more harm. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a secret that could shake the entire city. With the truth in hand, the protagonist knew what he had to do next. The stage was set for a confrontation that would test his resolve. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a terrifying truth. The sorcerer was not just a legend, but a very real, very dangerous threat. With the truth laid bare, the protagonist knew they had to act. The fate of the world depended on stopping the sorcerer before it was too late. At first, the letter looked ordinary, But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret. The man was being hunted by a powerful enemy. With no time to waste, he grabbed his sword and prepared to defend himself. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, "I'm your father," hit him like a ton of bricks. His world was flipped upside down in an instant. He stared at the letter, trying to process the impossible. Who was this man? And why did he claim to be his father? The father apologizes for his son's behavior, explaining that he has a bad temper. The girl acknowledges the situation, noting that she almost got involved unnecessarily, but is glad it ended well. As the girl walks away, she reflects on the encounter. The father's words about his son's temper linger in her mind, making her wonder if there's more to the story than meets the eye. A close-up of the girl's eye reveals a sharp, calculating look. She isn't just observing, she's analyzing the situation, sensing that something isn't quite right about the father's explanation. With a newfound sense of purpose, the girl sets off to investigate further. She's determined to get to the bottom of the mystery surrounding the father and his son, even if it means putting herself in danger. The scene ends with a haunting image of the girl's eye, glowing with an otherworldly light. This suggests that her investigation will lead her into a realm far beyond the ordinary, where dark secrets lie waiting to be uncovered. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the sorcerer's past, one that could shake the very foundation of their world. With the new information in hand, the heroes set out on a perilous journey to confront the sorcerer and uncover the truth. As they traveled, the leader checked on his companions, ensuring they were ready for the challenges ahead. The man reads the letter, his expression shifting from casual to intense. As he realizes the significance of the message, he ponders the identity of the sender, recalling the mysterious figure who delivered the letter. The man is visibly shaken by the contents of the letter, his mind racing to understand the implications. With a newfound sense of purpose, he prepares to act on the information provided, ready to face whatever challenges lie ahead. The sorcerer's fury was palpable as he confronted the intruder, his hand raised in a gesture of power. The air itself seemed to crackle with the intensity of his rage. The young man, clearly taken aback by the sorcerer's presence, struggled to maintain his composure. His eyes darted between the sorcerer and the sword at his side, betraying his anxiety. In the shadows, a figure emerged, carrying a large, glowing artifact. The blue light emanating from the object cast an eerie glow, suggesting a powerful and ancient magic. With a resolute expression, the figure stepped forward, the artifact held firmly in their grasp. The sorcerer's eyes narrowed, sensing the significance of this object in the unfolding conflict. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the city's past, one that could shake the very foundations of their society. With this new knowledge, the protagonist knew they had to act. The fate of the city depended on it. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the sorcerer's past, sending shockwaves through the protagonist's mind. With this new knowledge, the protagonist resolved to uncover the full story, no matter the danger. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden scroll, not a talisman. This discovery sent shockwaves through the room. The elder, now aware of the scroll's true nature, pondered its implications. The weight of this revelation was not lost on him. With the truth laid bare, the elder's expression shifted to one of resolve. He knew what must be done next. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a plot to assassinate the emperor. And the culprit was someone close to the throne, with the fate of the empire at stake. The hero knew he had to act fast to stop the conspiracy. As he prepared to confront the traitor, a vision of the future flashed before his eyes, warning of the dangers ahead. The letter's contents are revealed, showing a complex diagram of a magical circuit. The protagonist studies it intently, trying to understand the instructions for the ritual. With a firm resolve, the protagonist activates the circuit. The room is filled with a bright, ethereal light as the magic begins to take effect. The ritual is successful! The protagonist is surrounded by a swarm of glowing, butterfly-like creatures, indicating a significant breakthrough in their magical abilities. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret. The sender was a sorcerer who had been killing people for years. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark truth. The sorcerer's power was not just a legend, but a deadly reality waiting to be unleashed. With the truth in hand, the protagonist knew they had to act fast. The fate of the city hung in the balance. As they raced against time, the sorcerer's presence loomed closer, threatening to consume everything in its path. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a truth so dangerous, it could shatter the very foundation of their world. With the stakes now clear, the heroes knew they had to act fast. The fate of the kingdom hung in the balance. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The summon, Aqua Wing, flutters around the room. It's a temporary energy booster, perfect for fighting fatigue and insomnia. With the Aqua Wing's energy, the protagonist is ready to face the challenges ahead. The stakes are high, and the journey is just beginning. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a plot to assassinate the king, signed by a traitor within the royal guard. With the threat exposed, the sorcerer vowed to protect the king at all costs, even if it meant facing his own kind. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a terrifying truth. The talisman was missing, and the consequences could be catastrophic. Jeol was furious. He couldn't believe someone would be so careless with such a powerful artifact. With the talisman gone, Jiol knew he had to act fast. The fate of the city might depend on it. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a horrifying truth. The person he trusted most was actually his enemy. With a newfound resolve, he decided to confront the traitor head-on. He knew the path ahead would be dangerous, but he was ready to fight for the truth. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The sorcerer's eyes narrowed as he read the final line. This wasn't just a message. It was a declaration of war. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The man he had just killed was actually his own father. The young man was left in a state of confusion, struggling to reconcile the image of his father with the killer he had just defeated. Despite the emotional turmoil, he knew he had to continue his journey to find the truth about his past and the mysterious forces at play. As the protagonist reads the letter, a single line strikes him with profound realization. He wonders if his recent experiences mean he has developed the ability to physically perceive killing intent. The scene shifts to a nighttime landscape where a faint, eerie glow emanates from the ground. The sound of a snake hissing adds to the sense of unease, suggesting the presence of a hidden danger or a supernatural entity. Back in the present, the protagonist's expression hardens with resolve. He acknowledges the threat posed by the snake-like creature and prepares himself for the confrontation ahead, his mind set on victory. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth that shook the very foundation of his reality. With newfound resolve, he prepared to confront the darkness that awaited him. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, "I am the Demon King," hit him like a ton of bricks. His world was about to be turned upside down. As the night sky unfolds, a young man lies awake, his mind racing with thoughts of escape. The bright moon above seems to mock his current situation, while the stars whisper of a life yet to be lived. With a resolve that cuts through the silence, he makes a decision. The city, with all its chaos and opportunity, is where he belongs. It's time to leave this quiet life behind and chase the dreams that have been haunting him. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The city skyline, once a symbol of progress, now looms as a backdrop to a mystery that threatens to unravel the very fabric of society. The hallway stretches into infinity, its walls lined with countless identical doors. The air is thick with an eerie silence, broken only by the faint, rhythmic sound of footsteps echoing through the void. As the figure approaches, a single door stands out from the rest, its surface glowing with a faint, otherworldly light. It is here that the journey will begin. But what lies beyond is a mystery yet to be unraveled. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The sorcerer's daughter was alive and had been living in hiding. This news shattered the protagonist's understanding of the world and set him on a dangerous path to find her. With newfound purpose, the protagonist vowed to track down the missing daughter. He knew the journey would be perilous, but he was determined to uncover the truth and bring her back to safety. The letter's contents were chilling. It revealed that the sender knew exactly who he was and where he lived, making him feel like a trapped prey. Enraged by the threat, he vowed to fight back. He wouldn't let this villain intimidate him into submission. With a fierce resolve, he opened the door ready to confront the danger head-on. He would not go down without a fight. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, "I am the murderer," struck like a bolt of lightning, freezing the recipient in disbelief. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was clear: the sorcerer had returned, and he was coming for them. The boy's eyes widened in horror as he read the letter. The words, "I wanted to see you a lot," sent a chill down his spine, suggesting the sender was not just a friend, but a dangerous stalker. Confused and scared, the boy looked around, trying to figure out who could have written such a threatening message. The dark, empty room only added to his sense of isolation and vulnerability. Suddenly, a figure appeared in the doorway, silhouetted against the light. The boy's panic reached its peak as he realized the stalker had found him. He stammered, unable to comprehend the danger he was in. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The letter revealed a horrifying truth. The man had brutally murdered his foster parents for insurance money, wasted it on gambling, and was now plotting to kill his girlfriend for more. With this new knowledge, the protagonist knew he had to act. He couldn't let this cold-blooded killer continue his spree. The hooded figure's words cut through the silence, dripping with contempt. "Did you really think you could succeed this time as well? Did you really think that life was that easy?" The implication was clear. The protagonist's efforts were futile, and the antagonist was ready to crush them once more. The man's face contorted with rage as he read the letter. "Don't fuck with me, you bastard," he shouted, his voice echoing in the dark room. "What the hell are you talking about?" The court announced my innocence. He stood up, pointing a finger at the shadowy figure. "I'm innocent." "You think you're above the law or something?" "Show me the evidence!" The man's bravado faltered as he looked into the eyes of the hooded figure. "Are you gonna kill me too? Like that Yoon Sung, Han, or whatever guy?" The figure remained silent, a sinister smile playing on its lips. "Evidence. It's right there," it said, gesturing to the letter. The man's eyes widened in horror as he realized the truth. "OSSK," he whispered, the name of the serial killer who had framed him. The letter's opening line was innocuous, but the second sentence struck like a dagger. "You killed us." The boy's world shattered as he realized the gravity of the accusation. The voices of the dead sorcerers echoed with fury. "You bad boy, you killed us," they hissed. The boy, now a man, stood accused of a crime he couldn't remember. His face contorted in disbelief and fear. As the letter continued, the boy struggled to reconcile the image of the loving parents who raised him with the cold, accusing words on the page. "We raised you for 15 years, they wrote, making the betrayal all the more painful. Who? What is this? A letter? From who? I don't remember writing anything like this." The detective's face contorted with rage as he confronted the sorcerer. "You're kidding me? Do you think I'm stupid?" he shouted, his voice echoing through the chamber. The sorcerer, unfazed, pointed to the grotesque figures. "That's an illusion spell," he stated coldly. "Something like that isn't evidence." The detective's eyes widened in disbelief at the sight of the undead creatures. A figure in red armor emerged from the shadows, observing the confrontation. "Illusion," he murmured, his voice laced with curiosity. The detective turned, realizing he was not alone in this battle against the supernatural. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a shocking truth about the sorcerer's identity. leaving the reader breathless with anticipation. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, "I am innocent," were written in blood. The sender was clearly not alive. As he read the letter, a single sentence struck him like lightning, freezing his blood. The truth was far worse than he could have imagined. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The sorcerer's daughter was alive and had been kidnapped. This changed everything for the protagonist, who had thought she was dead. Fueled by the news, the protagonist vowed to rescue the daughter. He knew the kidnappers were dangerous, but he was willing to risk everything to save her. As he prepared for the rescue, the protagonist reflected on the sorcerer's legacy. He realized that saving the daughter was not just a personal mission, but a way to honor the sorcerer's memory. The rescue attempt began with a fierce battle. The protagonist fought against the kidnappers with all his might, determined to reach the daughter before it was too late. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The innocent man was actually a notorious criminal wanted for a heinous crime. This revelation flipped the entire investigation on its head. With the true identity of the culprit exposed, the detective vowed to track him down and bring him to justice, no matter where he hid. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was clear: those with sins shall die. Those without sin shall live. The Black Room knows everything. The hooded figure, now revealed as the Black Room's agent, smiles with confidence. He's ready to enforce this judgment. With a final, chilling smile, the agent prepares to act. The fate of the city now hangs in the balance. Ha ha ha! The laughter of the dead sorcerer echoes through the chamber, a chilling reminder of the power he wields. The letter's contents were chilling. It revealed that the sender had been tracking the recipient's every move, knowing intimate details about their life and struggles. The message was clear. The recipient was being recruited for a dangerous mission, and their refusal would have dire consequences. Hey guys! Welcome to Manhwa Empires! Buckle up, because this story is about to blow your mind. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The sender was actually a powerful sorcerer in disguise, and he had been manipulating the entire city from the shadows. Realizing the danger, the protagonist vowed to uncover the sorcerer's true identity and stop his evil plans before it was too late. As he investigated, he discovered that the sorcerer had infiltrated the highest levels of government, making the task of stopping him even more difficult. Despite the odds, the protagonist remained confident. He knew that with the help of his friends and his own skills, he could defeat the sorcerer and save the city. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the city's past, one that could shake the very foundations of their society. Detective Kim, a bizarre murder case has just been reported. The victim's body is partially missing, and blood is everywhere. This is unlike anything you've seen before. As you read the report, the details are hard to comprehend. The victim appears to have been crushed, with significant portions of their body absent. The crime scene is chaotic and gruesome. The officer who found the body is visibly shaken, describing the scene as cruel and unprecedented. You realize this is not a standard homicide. It requires immediate investigation. The nature of the injury suggests a force or method you haven't encountered. This case will test your skills and push the boundaries of standard detective work. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a horrifying truth. A part of a corpse was missing, and the culprit was none other than the Crimson Robe. Furious at the insult and the crime, the protagonist vowed to track down the Crimson Robe and make him pay. With a clear target in mind, he set off to confront the Crimson Robe, ready to reclaim what was stolen and restore justice. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, "I am the dead sorcerer," sent a chill down his spine. This wasn't just a prank. It was a declaration from the city's most feared entity. With the letter in hand, he knew he had to act fast. The dead sorcerer was real, and he was coming for him. As he read the final lines, the weight of the situation hit him. He was now the target of a powerful, vengeful sorcerer. There was no turning back. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The man's wife had been secretly meeting with a sorcerer, plotting against him. This betrayal threatened to destroy everything he thought he knew. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The detective's eyes narrowed as he read the final line. The case had just taken a dangerous turn. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was clear. The Crimson Robe was here, and it was targeting them. With the threat confirmed, the team sprang into action, preparing to confront the danger head on. As they moved through the city, the atmosphere grew heavier, the presence of the Crimson Robe looming over every step. The detective and his partner stand over the victim, a sense of unease settling in as they prepare to uncover the truth. The partner points to a nearby message, urging the detective to investigate further. As the blanket is pulled back, a chilling message is revealed. Those with sin shall die. Those without sin shall live. The Black Room knows everything. The detective's eyes widen in horror, realizing the full extent of the threat they are facing. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The Black Room knows everything. That's not just a threat, it's a promise. And it's about to be tested. With the letter in hand, the hero steps forward. The fate of the city hangs in the balance. The detective examines the letter, noting its length. He wonders about the engraving method used on the cement floor. The conversation shifts to the victim's past. The detective reveals that Kang Sung Bum was once a suspect in a murder case involving a married couple who ran an orphanage. The revelation hits hard. The victim, Kang Sung Bum, was the stepson of the murdered couple. This adds a layer of personal tragedy to the case. With the background established, the detective is ready to dive deeper into the investigation. connecting the dots between the past and the present crime. The letter appeared innocuous at first, but a single sentence revealed a shocking truth that would change everything. Despite the lack of physical evidence, Kang Sung Bum was acquitted, leaving the public to wonder about the true nature of the crime. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The victim had been tortured for over a year, and the DK device was no longer functional. This meant the perpetrator had continued the abuse without any technological constraints, making the crime even more heinous. The detective, visibly shaken, expressed his disgust at the cruelty of the act. He admitted that despite his experience, this was the first time he had seen such a brutal and sustained form of torture, leaving him with a lasting sense of revulsion. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The corpse is completely disassembled, but what's scarier is that big chunks of the corpse are missing. It's hard to say it's from a collector-type murderer, too. The missing areas aren't accurately cut and too wide for it to be considered a collector's doing. The handling of the corpse wasn't delicate, but rather rough. The letter revealed a horrifying truth. The missing teeth were not lost to decay, but violently ripped out by a wild beast. This shocking revelation instantly shifted the investigation from a medical mystery to a potential criminal act. As the detective read the chilling details, the image of the mangled teeth flashed before him, confirming the brutality of the attack. The question now was not just who did this, but what kind of monster would commit such a heinous act. Detective Kim ponders the possibility of a berserk spell being used on a canine, finding the idea plausible. As he examines the crime scene, the detective is taken aback by the presence of the National Forensic Science Institute at the scene, marking a significant development in the investigation. The team leader reads the letter, his expression shifting from casual to intrigued. The mention of crimson clearly piques his interest, suggesting a significant development or threat. With a sense of urgency, the leader rallies his team. The stakes are high, and they must act quickly to address the situation involving the crimson robe. The man in the brown coat sits in silence, his expression a mix of frustration and deep thought. He's clearly struggling to process the information he's just received. The older man, with his glasses and casual attire, looks at the younger one with a mix of curiosity and concern. He's waiting for a reaction, perhaps expecting the younger man to be more shaken or angry. The younger man's face darkens significantly. His eyes narrow and his jaw tightens, indicating a strong emotional response. This is the moment where the plot likely shifts, as he decides how to react to the revelation. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth. The murder was not committed by the Crimson Robe, as previously suspected. The detective explained that the crime scene lacked the characteristic mana signature of a spell, and the method of killing was far too brutal for the usual Crimson Robe modus operandi. The bloodstain on the floor confirmed the brutality of the act, suggesting a new, more violent perpetrator was at large. With the identity of the killer now in question, the investigation took a sharp turn, leaving the team to hunt for a new, unknown threat. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a shocking truth. The killer had been watching them all along, and this was just the beginning. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. At first, the letter looked ordinary, But one sentence instantly changed everything. The phrase, "Those with sin shall die. Those without sin shall live." The Black Room knows everything. Sent a chill down his spine. This wasn't just a letter. It was a threat from a powerful, unseen force. The initials CR were clearly meant to intimidate, but the real mystery lay in the salutation. In standard letters, you write "to" or "dear" at the top. But this letter had no such greeting. It was addressed to the receiver, a term that implied the recipient was already known to the sender. Yet the sender remained anonymous. Who was the receiver? And what did the Black Room want? The letter posed more questions than it answered, leaving the reader in a state of uneasy anticipation. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The detective read the message, his expression shifting from confusion to realization. The Black Room was the key. Crimson Robe had vanished after losing public support and killing the jailed criminal. Now, the culprit was reaching out to him directly. The detective knew this letter was more than just words. It was a challenge, a signal that the game was far from over. The team arrives at the crime scene, ready to investigate the mysterious disappearance of Kang Sung, Bum. The atmosphere is tense as they prepare to enter the building. Inside, they find a letter addressed to Kang Sung, Bum. It appears to be a standard letter, but one specific sentence catches their attention, hinting at a deeper mystery. The detective reads the letter, pondering the meaning of the cryptic message. He realizes that the culprit must have had a specific reason for targeting Kang Sung, Bum, and they need to figure out what that basis is. With the letter as their only clue, the team decides to focus their investigation on understanding the relationship between the culprit and Kang Sung, Bum. They are determined to uncover the truth behind this disappearance. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The man in the shadows was revealed to be Kim Hyun-ok, a name that sent shivers down the spine of the entire team. Despite his reputation, there was a quiet confidence in his demeanor. The team couldn't help but wonder what made him so special. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. He used to be the Magic Crime Squad's elite, but was demoted to Serious Crime Squad after a series of cases. I like his eyes. I hear he's quite perceptive. But, Detective Kim Hyun-ok wants some advice? At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The detective read the message again, trying to grasp its meaning. It was a riddle, a challenge, and a warning all at once. With a newfound resolve, he decided to follow the instructions. He would need to think outside the box to solve this case. The detectives are closing in, but the killer remains elusive. He taunts them, knowing they're on the verge of a breakthrough. As the team gathers evidence, they ponder the nature of the beast they're hunting. The name Beast is suggested, fitting for a monster that rips off corpses. The killer overhears the discussion and laughs at the predictability of the name. He mocks Detective Kim, asking if he too likes the name Beast. Detective Kim, undeterred by the taunts, vows to catch the killer. He knows the beast is out there, waiting for the perfect moment to strike again. The chapter ends with a chilling realization. The beast is not just a metaphor, it's a real, lurking threat that will stop at nothing to achieve its goals. The team debates the name of their new operation, with one member suggesting a title inspired by an old idol group. Another member dismisses the idea, claiming the name doesn't matter as long as the mission is accomplished. Despite the initial banter, the leader acknowledges the need for an official title. He proposes that the person in charge of the case should be the one to choose the name, implying a deeper significance to the decision than the others realize. The scene shifts to a dark, mysterious location where a figure stands before a glowing, rune-covered door. The atmosphere is tense as the figure prepares to enter, suggesting the beginning of a high-stakes mission or investigation. The letter's contents were far from ordinary. A single, explicit curse word was scrawled across the page, instantly grabbing the reader's attention and setting the tone for the rest of the message. The recipient of the letter, a man with dark hair and a serious expression, reads the message with a mix of confusion and curiosity. The vulgarity of the opening line suggests the letter is not from a typical correspondent, but rather someone with a specific, perhaps aggressive, agenda. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was clear: the murderer was targeting Crimson Robe, and the symbol found at the site confirmed it. The letter's contents left him stunned. The words "I'm a beast" were written in his own handwriting, but he had no memory of writing them. This was the first sign that something was terribly wrong. As he read further, the implications became clear. The letter was a warning from his future self, trapped in a beastly form, urging him to stop the experiment. The stakes were higher than he had imagined. With the warning in hand, he knew he had to act. The experiment must be stopped before it was too late. He couldn't let his future self's fate become his own. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The detective's eyes narrowed as he read the words. This wasn't just a letter, it was a trap. With a steely resolve, he crumpled the paper. He knew exactly what he had to do next. The detective sits alone in his office. A letter from the Crimson Robe Society spread out before him. As he reads the words, a deep sense of unease settles in. The letter speaks of a mission to protect the city, but the detective can't shake the feeling that something is off. Is the Crimson Robe truly a hero? Or is there a darker agenda at play? Looking up from the letter, the detective's expression is one of quiet determination. He knows that the truth about the Crimson Robe is crucial. If they are villains, the city is in danger. If they are heroes, he needs to understand their methods. Either way, he is committed to finding out. The detective sits alone, staring at the letter. It's not the content that shocks him, but the implication. This isn't just a crime, it's a message, a warning. And he's the one who has to figure out what it means. The conversation shifts to the suspect. The detective's partner is blunt. The man has blood on his hands. 6 lives lost. But the detective isn't convinced. There's something about this case that doesn't add up. The detective stands firm. He believes in justice, not revenge. Even if the victims were evil, murder is still murder. He won't let this become a witch hunt. He'll find the truth, no matter where it leads. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The man's eyes scanned the page, stopping abruptly at a specific line. His expression shifted from casual to intense, as if he'd just discovered a hidden truth. With a newfound sense of purpose, he folded the letter back into its envelope. He knew what he had to do next. Actually, I don't really like how Chacha. No, Crimson Robe is quiet. As a fan, that is. He must have gotten scared after taking some insults. He needs to keep making trouble, or else I won't get any leads. I'm going to find out what happened to him. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The detective paused, considering the implications of the message. It wasn't just a lead, it was a challenge to his own sense of justice. With a steely resolve, he pocketed the letter. He would follow this lead, no matter where it took him, to uncover the truth behind the sorcerer's death. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The man pondered the implications of the message. It wasn't just a statement. It was a challenge to his worldview. He realized the letter was not just about the past, but a warning for the future. The stakes were higher than he initially thought. As he walked away, he couldn't shake the feeling of dread. The world seemed darker, and the truth of the letter weighed heavily on his mind. Right then, gum that somebody thoughtlessly spit from the roof landed on top of the woman's head. Ouch! Oh no! She was on her way to a blind date for the 20th time that day. She kept getting dumped, so she was thinking that it'd be the last and was going to the meeting place. But she couldn't see the man with a gum in her hair. So she stopped by a hair salon and cut her hair, but her hair was still a mess. The other man, without even waiting for an hour, quickly left as if he had a sudden life or death situation. The woman was completely dumped, and suddenly it starts to rain as well. Everybody else had umbrellas, but she didn't. She was so excited about the blind date that she forgot to bring one. Just then! Damned! Who's the one who threw the can away there? She twisted her ankle on the can and fell down on the street with a loud scream, and the others started laughing their heads off watching her. The woman, already heartbroken and soaked, now lay injured and humiliated in the middle of the street. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. At that point, her mentality was on the verge of collapse, and with self-hatred at its peak. The final blow hits her, on the street, with her messed up hair, and in the midst of laughter. She receives the pink slip from her workplace. You know how the company is nowadays, right? I'm sorry, you don't have to come from tomorrow. I'll be sure to get your paycheck in next month. She stands there, drenched and broken, holding the letter that seals her fate. The world around her continues to laugh, oblivious to her pain. That night, after drinking alcohol all alone, she rode a taxi to the Han Gang Bridge. And she stopped the taxi. And that was her last moment. The letter she left behind was addressed to her mother. It began with a simple greeting, but the second sentence revealed the truth. She had been suffering from depression for years. She apologized for not being able to hold on any longer and asked her mother to take care of herself. The letter ended with a final, painful goodbye. The letter's contents left him puzzled. He couldn't grasp the significance of the numbers mentioned. As he pondered the message, a realization dawned on him. The numbers corresponded to the exact count of people in the room. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The person that killed her. This wasn't just a breakup letter. It was a confession of murder. But who was it? The one who spit out the gum. The person who set her up on the blind date. The other man who left beforehand. The person who threw away the can. The people who were laughing. The list of suspects is growing, and the mystery is only deepening. The letter begins with a simple question, but the tone suggests a deeper, more philosophical challenge rather than a direct accusation. The writer reflects on the nature of human life, implying that even the most virtuous individuals are likely to have committed some wrongdoing over time. The letter concludes with a profound statement about self-awareness, suggesting that people are often blind to their own faults, which makes the concept of a perfect person highly unlikely. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. Standing on the tower, he reflected on the nature of sin and the system that governs it. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The sorcerer stood on the tower, gazing at the city below. He knew the truth now. The world was not what it seemed. With a resolve in his eyes, he spoke the words that would change the fate of the city. We have to live kindly, at least in areas where our consciousnesses reach. The detective carefully reads the letter, his expression shifting from curiosity to deep contemplation. The words on the page clearly hold significant meaning for him. With a firm resolve, he closes the letter and stands up. The message has confirmed his suspicions, and he is ready to take the next step in his investigation. Looking directly at the camera, the detective declares his conclusion. He is certain that the symbol found at the crime scene is indeed aimed at the crimson robe, and he is prepared to confront the implications of this discovery. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The crimson robe's words were a direct insult to the sorcerer's power and lineage. This was no longer just a letter. It was a declaration of war. The sorcerer's eyes blazed with fury. He would show the crimson robe the true meaning of power. The battle for the throne had begun. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The detective's eyes narrowed as he read the chilling message. The game had just begun. With a fierce resolve, he stepped into the darkness, ready to confront the unknown. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a connection to the mysterious crimson robe, leaving the recipient stunned and questioning their own identity. The sender claimed to be a passionate fan of Cha-Cha, but the recipient was left wondering why they were being referred to by that name. Others' call letter ended with a cryptic signature, the crimson robe, suggesting the sender was not just a fan, but the very person the recipient had been investigating. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the sorcerer's past, sending shockwaves through the room. With the secret now exposed, the sorcerer vowed to confront his destiny, no matter the cost. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was clear. The sorcerer's soul was trapped in the black room, and only the recipient could free him. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The dead sorcerer was actually alive, and had been manipulating events from the shadows. With this new knowledge, the protagonist vowed to track down the sorcerer and put an end to his schemes once and for all. The letter looked ordinary at first, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret about the city's past, sending shockwaves through the protagonist. Fueled by the revelation, the protagonist vowed to uncover the truth behind the city's mysterious history. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth. The city was not just haunted, but trapped in a time loop. The same events repeating over and over. With this new knowledge, the protagonist vowed to break the cycle. The fate of the city now rested on their shoulders. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a chilling truth. The dead sorcerer had been murdered. This wasn't a natural death. It was a crime. With the autopsy results in hand, the investigator knew he had to act fast. The killer was still out there, and the clock was ticking. As he left the morgue, he couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching. The game had just begun. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret about the city's past, one that the recipient was never supposed to know. With the truth in hand, the protagonist knew they had to act. The fate of the city depended on it. Armed with this new knowledge, the hero set out to confront the darkness that threatened their home. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the beast's nature, leaving the reader stunned. With the truth now known, the protagonist vowed to change the course of the battle. As the letter was set aside, the weight of the new information settled in, promising a shift in strategy. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a plot to assassinate the king, signed by a mysterious figure known only as the Shadow. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a secret so dangerous, it could shake the very foundations of their world. With a steely resolve, he knew he had to act. The fate of the city rested on his shoulders. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The tooth belonged to the victim, and the cause of death was a traumatic aortic rupture. This was no ordinary accident. The detective examined the damaged tooth, noting the perfect match to the corpse's scars. The evidence pointed to a violent, intentional act. As the detective processed the information, he wondered if this was the key to solving the mystery. The implications were far-reaching. With the new evidence in hand, the detective prepared to confront the suspect. The game had changed, and he was ready to play. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a horrifying truth. The city is infested with man-eaters. This isn't just a warning. It's a call to action. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a connection to a notorious criminal organization, the Crimson Robe. This was no simple murder. It was a calculated move by a powerful syndicate. The detective knew he had to act fast. He requested a full forensic analysis of the tooth found at the scene, hoping it would lead to the killer's identity. With the case now officially linked to organized crime, the detective prepared to dig deeper into the dark underbelly of the city. The hunt for the Crimson Robe had just begun. The detective carefully examines the letter, his expression shifting from casual to intense. As he reads a specific line, his eyes widen in disbelief. The letter reveals that the tooth belongs to a child who died in a fire, and the sender claims to be the child's father, seeking justice. The detective is immediately on high alert. He realizes this is not just a random prank, but a serious case of child murder. He instructs his team to analyze the DNA and prepare for a full investigation. I want to say something, but it's true that it's over. How disappointing, but the fight isn't over yet. The police station is still standing, and that means there's still a chance to save the city. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret. The sorcerer's power was not his own. It was stolen from a long-lost civilization. The fight is brutal. Both fighters are trading heavy blows, but one of them is clearly struggling to keep up. After the fight, the winner reflects on the experience. He notes that while he won, the lack of a real challenge left him feeling unsatisfied. Looking at the empty training room, he realizes that without a worthy opponent, his victory is hollow. He wishes for a stronger rival to test his limits. The DNA analysis reveals a shocking truth. The deceased is not who they appear to be. This discovery sends shockwaves through the investigation, forcing the team to reevaluate everything they thought they knew. With the true identity of the victim now known, the detective shifts his focus to the next critical step, locating the missing smart pen. This device holds the key to unlocking the mystery of the murder. The search for the smart pen leads to a confrontation with a mysterious woman. Her presence suggests she is connected to the crime, but her intentions remain unclear. The detective must proceed with caution. The letter reveals a familiar face from the past, a former classmate and archery club member. Her message is simple, but carries a weight of nostalgia and expectation. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a conspiracy far deeper than anyone expected. With the truth now exposed, the hero knew there was only one path forward. Well, that aside, when's the result coming out? I'm so curious to see who the man-eater is. Well, that aside, when's the result coming out? I'm so curious to see who the man-eater is. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the sorcerer's past, one that could shake the very foundation of the city. With this new knowledge, the protagonist knew they had to act fast. The fate of the city depended on it. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The man he'd been searching for was actually dead. The matching status confirmed it, leaving him stunned and questioning everything. As he stared at the screen, the implications sank in. If the target was deceased, what did that mean for the mission? The plot had just taken a dark, unexpected turn. Despite the setback, he refused to give up. With a steely resolve, he decided to investigate further, determined to uncover the truth behind the man's death and complete his objective. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The man he was investigating was actually deceased. This unexpected revelation left him stunned and questioning the validity of the entire case. As he scrolled through the digital records, the information confirmed the death of Yoon Jung Suk. The presence of a deceased label next to the profile picture made the situation even more perplexing. Despite the confusion, he remained determined to get to the bottom of this mystery. He clicked on the residence address button, hoping to find clues that would explain how a dead man could be involved in this investigation. The address listed was a high-rise apartment building, which seemed like a normal residence. However, given the deceased status of the occupant, this location now held significant potential for uncovering the truth behind the case. The letter appeared harmless at first, but one line revealed a shocking truth that sent chills down his spine. The words "deceased person" struck him like a bolt of lightning, instantly shifting the tone from curiosity to sheer terror. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The tooth's owner is the director couple murder case victim, Kang Sung. Bum step, father, Yoon Chung-suk. This isn't just a random murder. It's personal, and I'm going to find out who did this. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The detective's eyes widened as he read the chilling message. The case was far from closed. With a newfound sense of urgency, he vowed to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. The detective's confusion is palpable as he reads the letter. The message implies that the dead are communicating, which contradicts the fundamental laws of nature and investigation. The revelation hits hard. The letter suggests the culprit is manipulating the investigation by making it appear as if a deceased person is responsible, a tactic designed to mislead the detectives. The scene cuts to a horrifying vision of a zombie-like creature, reinforcing the letter's claim. The detective is now faced with the terrifying possibility that the case involves supernatural forces or a highly deceptive criminal. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The victim, now a ghost, was reading the letter. He had defied death to personally judge his assailant. The letter revealed that beast mentioned Crimson Robe to show him, to provoke a reaction. Crimson Robe, laughing at the mention, made a crucial mistake. His uneasy emotions and rushed decision would soon cost him. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a shocking truth about the Crimson Robe's identity, leaving the investigator stunned. As the investigator read further, the implications of the letter became clear. The Crimson Robe was not who they thought. With the new information in hand, the investigator knew they had to act fast. The game had just changed. The investigator stood tall, ready to confront the Crimson Robe. The truth was finally within reach. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The recipient's eyes widened as they read the message. It was a request for a meeting, but the location was unexpected. The meeting was to take place at the very place the recipient had been trying to avoid, the city of Dead Sorcerer. The sorcerer sleeps soundly, unaware of the letter that awaits him. Upon waking, he discovers a letter on his desk, its contents shrouded in mystery. As night falls, the sorcerer sits in contemplation, the letter's message weighing heavily on his mind. At first, the letter looked ordinary, But one sentence instantly changed everything. A customer this late at night. The shopkeeper's curiosity was piqued as he prepared to open the door. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a secret so dangerous, it could shatter the entire kingdom. With the truth in hand, the hero knew they had to act fast. The fate of the realm depended on it. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The letter revealed a shocking truth. The man in the crimson robe was none other than the legendary dead sorcerer himself. With this revelation, the protagonist knew he had to act fast. The fate of the world depended on stopping the dead sorcerer before he could unleash his dark magic. As the protagonist approached the dead sorcerer, the air crackled with energy. The final confrontation was about to begin. At first, the letter looked ordinary. But one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a shocking truth. The sorcerer was alive and had been watching them all along. Others' twilight bleeds across the silent peaks. The young survivor remains motionless atop the cold stone, his gaze fixed on a horizon that offers no answers. The stillness is deceptive. Beneath it, a storm of unresolved conflict churns, and every shadow stretching across the valley feels like a warning. He has survived the impossible once, but the crushing isolation surrounding him suggests that the true trial has only just begun, and something far more dangerous is already moving in the dark. Beneath the bruised twilight sky, the young man stood alone, his sharp profile etched with silent dread. The air felt wrong, too still, too watchful, as if the darkness itself was holding its breath, waiting for him to realize he was no longer safe. Then a voice sliced through the silence, carrying a question that turned the night ice cold. From the shadows, an unexpected figure had arrived, and anyone knocking at this hour was never bringing good news. The young man's worst fear had just walked straight to his door. The air hangs heavy as the crimson, cloaked figure confronts the dark-haired intruder. Her voice is calm, almost amused. Surprised he could track her to this hidden sanctuary. But behind her composed expression lies a dangerous secret. She stands firm, her red cloak billowing like a warning flag. He doesn't back down, his eyes locked on hers with unshakable resolve. This encounter was never accidental. It's a collision of hidden motives and stolen power. Then the accusation drops like a blade. Talisman thief. Yet her denial comes swift and sharp, cutting through the tension. If she didn't steal it, then the real culprit is still out there, and the truth just became far more dangerous. A shadowed gaze locks onto the scene with unsettling calm. The faint curve of a smirk reveals an observer who already knows every secret about to unfold. In this dead city, hidden eyes carry more power than weapons, and that silent amusement signals a game already won. Standing alone in stark light, the young woman's expression hardens into unwavering resolve. her formal cloak, and steady posture speak of duty. Yet her eyes betray the weight of a truth she can no longer ignore. She is not merely a witness. She is the last line standing between revelation and ruin, and her next choice will decide everything. Since suspenseful, a single phrase shatters the silence. The crimson robe is named, and with that revelation, hidden forces begin to stir in the darkness. How dramatic. The title crashes onto the screen like a tombstone. In this realm, death and sorcery are bound together, and the dead do not rest quietly. Mysterious credits surface like ashes in the wind. Behind the translation lies a deeper descent into a black chamber, where the dead sorcerer's secrets grow darker with every step. A voice cuts through the stillness, calm yet loaded with intent. The speaker makes it clear the mask is already off. There is no need for introductions when the truth is already exposed. Now, the only thing left is to ask directly. The woman in crimson turns the confrontation on its head. Facing the lone figure seated on the stone, she completes the accusation that changes everything. If he shares her nature, if he is truly a sorcerer, then this meeting was destined from the start. His silence becomes the loudest answer of all. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The boy stared at the words, his mind racing. Sorcerer. What are they talking about? He clenched his fists. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm not letting this go. His eyes narrowed, filled with rage. Whoever wrote this is going to regret it. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The sorcerer's eyes narrowed as he read the words. The truth was finally revealed, and it was far darker than he had imagined. The recipient's face paled with disbelief. The accusation was heavy, and the implications were terrifying. The game had just changed. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The man's eyes narrowed, his voice dripping with contempt. If you're not here for your fortune, then just go. Before the stick-carrying idiot wakes up, the sorcerer stood his ground, unyielding. I am here for the truth, and I will find it, even if it means facing you. The room fell silent, the tension palpable. The sorcerer knew he was stepping into a trap, but he had no choice. The fate of the world depended on it. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret. The sorcerer's power was not his own. It was stolen from a long-forgotten, ancient being. With this knowledge, the hero knew he had to act. The fate of the world depended on stopping the sorcerer before he could unleash the full power of the ancient entity. The battle was fierce. The sorcerer's stolen magic was powerful, but the hero's determination was stronger. In a final, desperate clash, the hero managed to defeat the sorcerer and seal away the ancient power. The explosion was massive, shaking the entire city. The man in the green shirt was thrown back, his glasses flying off as he struggled to comprehend the sheer power of the blast. As the dust settled, the man sat in silence, staring at the destruction. He knew this was just the beginning. The sorcerer's power was far greater than anyone had anticipated. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message was clear. The sender knew exactly who he was, and that knowledge was dangerous. The letter looked ordinary at first, but one sentence instantly changed everything. I am the one who killed your wife. The man's face contorted with rage. Who are you? Show yourself! He demanded, his voice echoing across the empty landscape. A faint, ethereal voice responded. I am the city of dead sorcerer. I have been waiting for you. The man's eyes widened in terror as he realized the true nature of his surroundings. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The Crimson Robe's patience snapped. He wasn't just a killer. He was a predator playing with his prey. The victim's eyes widened in terror as the blade flashed. The Crimson Robe had made his move, and it was final. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The words, "I am your father," echoed in his mind, shattering his reality. He stared at the letter, his blood running cold. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. "I really have an eye for people." At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The man pondered the options. To beat them, he'd either need to become a pure angel or a complete demon. Neither seemed like a simple choice. The young man's face contorted with terror as the hooded figure's words sank in. The choice was stark: embrace the darkness or perish. The weight of the decision hung heavy in the air, the fate of the world potentially resting on his shoulders. The man in the green shirt is visibly shaken, his eyes wide with fear as he reads the letter. The message is a direct threat, accusing him of being too soft and suggesting he should have been tortured for information. This reveals a dark, ruthless side to the sender, contrasting sharply with the recipient's current state of vulnerability. The woman in the red shirt looks on with a cold, mocking smile. She dismisses the idea of killing only criminals as naive, insisting that the man was meant to become a devil, not a hero. Her words imply a deep-seated belief in violence and manipulation, setting the stage for a potential conflict between these two opposing ideologies. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. If you don't have the confidence to become a devil, then just stay the hell out and live quietly. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a plot far more dangerous than a simple vendetta. It was a call to revolution. The sorcerer's response was immediate and resolute. "I'm not a sorcerer. I'm a man of science, and I'll prove it." At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a secret so dangerous, it could destroy the entire kingdom. The sage's eyes widened in disbelief as he realized the gravity of the situation. With a steely resolve, the sage decided he must act. He couldn't let this information fall into the wrong hands. The fate of the realm depended on his next move. As he walked through the dark, cavernous halls, the sage pondered his options. The path ahead was fraught with danger, but he was the only one who could stop the impending disaster. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. A long time ago, when Western culture was introduced, magic came with it, tied to religion. But before that, traditional sages used mana in their own way. The sages were exclusive. They didn't share their knowledge. That's why no one knew about them until now. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The sage's expression hardened as he read the words. This wasn't just a message, it was a declaration of war. With a roar, he tore the letter in half. "I will not let them destroy our world," he vowed, his eyes blazing with fury. The sage stood tall, ready to face the darkness. He knew the fight ahead would be brutal, but he was prepared to defend his home at any cost. The letter revealed a horrifying truth. The sages, once thought to be the guardians of the world, had been massacred. This revelation shattered the illusion of safety and left the reader reeling from the implications. The protagonist's anger is palpable as he confronts the reality of the situation. The massacre of the sages represents a direct attack on the very foundation of their society, and he is determined to find out who is responsible. Despite the overwhelming odds and the loss of his allies, the protagonist refuses to back down. He declares his intention to fight, driven by a sense of justice and a need to avenge the fallen sages. The sorcerer reads a letter from his former master, who condemns his methods and warns him of the consequences of his actions. Despite the warning, the sorcerer remains resolute, believing that his path is necessary to achieve his goal, even if it means being labeled a murderer. With a determined look, the sorcerer accepts his fate, understanding that he must continue on his dark path to fulfill his destiny. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a hidden truth about the sorcerer's past, leaving the reader stunned. With the secret now known, the protagonist vowed to uncover the full story behind the sorcerer's legacy. As the letter was put away, the weight of the new information settled in, promising a journey of discovery. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The start of a revolution. The key is held by a certain beast in a zoo. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a terrifying truth. A beast was hunting her, and it was already too close. But there was a glimmer of hope. The letter mentioned a mysterious ally, someone who could help her survive. The protagonist sits at his computer, typing away with a focused expression. The screen displays a search bar with the text zombie, summoner zombie, rising zombie summoning, indicating he is researching these topics. The scene shifts to a close-up of the keyboard where the protagonist is rapidly typing. The sound effects, talk, 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 emphasize the speed and intensity of his search, suggesting he is on a mission to find specific information quickly. The letter revealed a chilling truth. The killer is not just out there. He's somewhere very close to you. This proximity turns a distant threat into an immediate danger, heightening the suspense as the protagonist realizes they are in the killer's shadow. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a dark secret. The sender was a powerful necromancer, and they were coming for him. With the threat now clear, he knew he had to act fast. The race to stop the necromancer before it was too late had just begun. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The room was empty, yet he felt a presence. The letter's words echoed in his mind. "I'm watching you." He stared at the screen, paralyzed. The message was clear: he was being hunted. But by who and why? At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. At first, the letter looked ordinary, but one sentence instantly changed everything. The message revealed a horrifying truth. The sorcerer was not just a legend. He was real, and he was coming.